if anything, you shouldn't take games like that seriously, you know? Like, it's not as important as you think. It really isn't. It's not. I mean, this coming from a guy who's actually commentating on a game and loves to, you know, play games and all that. I do enjoy the aspects of games. I like the escape that it gives me. It's fun and all that stuff, but you have to remember, at the end of the day, it's a fucking game. And if you're really going to get that bent out of shape over a game, then you probably should start rethinking some things in your life, because a game is not this important. It's not so important where, like, life ends, you know, and you're gonna start sending death threats to the publisher, and you're gonna be like, oh, we need to boycott this, we need to boycott Blizzard, we need to boycott Diablo, we need to boycott, like, everything that the studio is doing, simply because the servers weren't fucking up, you know? The servers weren't up, we couldn't connect, we couldn't play, and therefore, you know, life is over, life sucks, I can't believe I can't play this game, blah 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 blah. Your argument is invalid. In fact, if anything, your argument is fucking retarded. And I am ashamed as a gamer to share, you know, the planet with you. I'm ashamed to share the title of gamer. As someone who plays video games, I'm ashamed to be a part of this illustrious circle, as I say in air quotes. It's an illustrious circle and subculture that we've created for ourselves, just because people are pissy and moany and feel entitled to shit. You're entitled to nothing. You bought the game, sure. Whatever. You know, it sucks. Things haven't gone your way. Things probably haven't gone according to Blizzard. Probably when their servers were overloaded, all of them were probably running around being like, fuck, everyone's gonna be really fucking pissed at us. But there's, you know, I mean, we're going to try and remedy it as best as possible, but for now, we can't really do anything except try to contain the masses, and, you know, that's obviously what they tried to do, but a lot of people were just like, oh, man, we're the internet, and, you know, we have all this power, and we need to show Blizzard that, you know, who they're toying with, because, you know, we control them, and blah, 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 and it's the same argument over and over again. It's pretty ridiculous at this point. Like, if anything, you're only entitled to so much. As a gamer, you're only entitled to so much, and you know they're trying to do whatever it is that they can do. I'm sure. And I'm sure by now the servers are probably back up where they need to be, which is great. But you know, it's funny. I figured something like this would happen on launch day, and I'm actually pretty happy that I didn't get the game on launch day. Mostly because I couldn't afford it. But even still, if I ran into these problems, yeah, I'd be a little angry, but then, you know, I would come to the realization that life's not over because I can't play a game. Because it's not. It's just, it's a fucking game, and that's what people need to realize. A game is a game. Yes, it's important to us as gamers to be able to play, you know, a game out the door and whatever, but, you know, in the end, just don't embarrass yourselves, you know? Just try to understand that you can only do so much on your end as a gamer and whatnot, so just let it go. Just let it go. The game will be back up at some point, and then you can have your fun, and you can get back to, you know, your basement or whatever. You can sit in front of your screen, your 70-inch plasma HD whatever with 7.1 surround sound or whatever that the highest sound system is today. One of those, your cool elite setup, and play for, I don't know, till the end of time. Because trust me, you know, I know what a lot of people are going through. I, myself, am a very big fan of Diablo. I played Diablo 2 for years. So, I mean, I know what that's like. I know you know, of course I want to be one of the guys out the door that's like, hell yeah, Diablo 3, this is what I've been waiting for freaking ever. Yeah, I want to be that guy, trust me. I know where you're coming from, and that was kind of a dick move. Kind of a dick move. I know where you're coming from with that, but at the same time, you need to be rational about stuff, which, you know, I think a lot of people are finding that gamers aren't exactly the most rational people on the planet, or at least all the idiots, because the idiots tend to showcase themselves more than the said community would like them to, just because they feel, you know, like I said, a sense of entitlement, in which you're really not entitled to very much at all. So, I mean, there's definitely that. There's definitely that, and there's a lot of that going on. And you know, the same thing happened with Mass Effect. Same thing definitely happened with Mass Effect, and people got pretty mad. People got really pissed off when, you know, the ending. You know, they didn't get the ending that they wanted. And granted, I was a little mad too when that happened, but you know, what can you do? You don't control the developers, you don't control the publishers. All you can do as a player is play it and hope that the experience is good. And if it's bad, you know, yeah, you talk about it, discuss it in open forum and whatever, but you know, you don't have to go through such lengths like contacting the FBI and being like, oh, false advertisement and blah blah blah, whatever, it's bullshit, we deserve to have our money back because whatever. Yeah, sure, that's a whole nother issue. They clearly made false promises and whatever. BioWare, that's a whole nother thing. But getting back to the topic at hand with Diablo and stuff like this, it's gonna happen. Even as gamers, you guys should know. You should know that. You should be fairly aware that on an MMO platform, something coming out at midnight, and then having all, you know, however many millions upon millions of people order the game and wanting to play at the same time, you have to understand that there's going to be issues like that. And obviously, Blizzard prepared the best that they probably could have. That's being the optimal word here, but you know, obviously that's why there was kind of one of those things where they made like, oh, you know, we're not going to have servers online until 3 o'clock for various reasons, blah, blah, blah. And that's obviously because they're probably trying to make things good on their end. How the hell did he... Okay, well, he respawned there. There we go, he respawned back in. But obviously, if there's anything that we can kind of infer from, you know, the specific time of the servers being online, they're trying to make sure on their end that shit like this wouldn't happen, and it still did, but you know, I'm sure it's probably far less catastrophic than it could have been. You know, some people were still able to access the game, they were lucky, but you know, other people weren't, and oh well, you know, that fucking sucks. What can you do? I guess you can cry about it, which is what a lot of people did, except they were a lot more vocal about their crying and bitching and moaning, and that's just what happened. It's just what happened, you know, it's launch day drama. It happens to everyone everywhere. Like I said, I'm just happy that I wasn't a part of it. You know, I'm glad that I'm able to kind of take a step back and look at what, you know, what this has specifically produced, and it's just basically weeding out all the crybabies and people that are being pissed off. But you know, another funny thing to note, though, oddly enough, is people with a bootlegged copy of the game, from what I've heard over on the Twitter and the tweets. Apparently people that have a bootlegged copy of the game were able to play because there are bootleg servers up right now, and I guess, you know, a lot of people, well, you know, if you have a bootleg copy of the game, you obviously can't play legit because Blizzard monitors that very sensitively, but apparently there are bootleg servers out there. I don't know how long they'll last for. Damn it, that was shitty. I don't know how long they'll last for, but, you know, they're able to play. Just kind of funny and ironic, and in a sense that all the people that have a bootlegged copy of the game are able to play it more easily than people without, than people that actually have a real copy of the game. It's pretty damn funny. I thought it was pretty freaking hilarious, actually. So my hat's off to you, bootleg holders of Diablo 3. Good for you. Good for freaking you. You're actually one-upping all the crybaby whiners. So pretty damn funny. I will give it that. But that's my take on Diablo 3 and launch day, and I'm very glad, like I said, not to be part of that bullshit. Very glad, very glad. I can wait a bit. I mean, I'm gonna have to anyway, but it's not really a game that I had planned to get on launch day anyway. It's a game that I do eventually plan to get because, you know, this game will probably be around for quite some time, as Diablo 2 was around for forever. It's, you know, it's still being played now, I'm sure. And if I could, I would probably I'd probably reinstall it and play, because it was fun times. It was good, but eventually, you know, the game eventually did get pretty easy, even in hell. And I think at one point when I stopped playing, you know, you could get up to, well, with the right people and the right party, you could get to, I think the max level was level 99 or level 100 in less than a day. Probably a couple hours, and that's pretty ridiculous, you know. I mean, it's cool. It allows you to test builds and kind of get an optimal character that you want right away. I mean, obviously, you still have to find